So this is part two. As promised in the last video, this is kind of a look at where you might consider installing the unit. Obviously you can tell from this car it's the coupe, not the convertible, and there's some important differences to note. It's the same for both cars. The head unit is underneath the armrest. However, the layout at this point is different. So obviously with the convertible, you've got a couple of roll hoops here, and you've got a top trim bit like this, although there is, I believe, a slidey panel here, whereas you've got this slightly different panel here in the coupe, which is great news for coupe owners because it means that this install is a really easy one. For convertible order, bulkhead trim it's able to take this panel and kind of grab hold of this piece and pull that off. So pull the top bit forward, lift it up, and in behind here you have a whole load of space. As you can see in this car, there's a couple of amplifiers in there, which has swallowed up quite a lot of the space. Not enough that I can't put the new unit there. It just makes getting to the plugs that are at the back of the head unit, which is down here, a bit more difficult for me. But not a problem. All I need to do is undo some of the work I did before, get some of these panels off, a bit like you'd have to do in the convertible, to gain me access to the plugs that sit on the bottom here. Now the head unit, the Android Auto CarPlay unit can perfectly sit in that space. There is oodles of space. In fact, it's big enough to take it that way round. The only question will be, obviously, how to secure it in there to stop it rattling around, so I'll give some thought to that. In terms of cabling, there's a couple of points to note. So I've done a bit more research since opening the box last night. So I mentioned about the 3.5mm cables. They effectively plug into the aux in as part of the head unit. Well, not the aux in for the head unit, but kind of break into that in the wiring loom, provide aux in for the CarPlay Android Auto unit. So effectively you lose the aux in that's in your glove box as a result of putting this in. And the little plug that they give you, there's a little 3.5mm terminator plug, which I might have left back up in the study. It might be in here. I think it's probably by the looks of it. Still where I unboxed the other cables last night, but effectively that needs to go into this box, and I think that's more to do with suppressing any noise. So I'm not sure it cuts it off. I think it just is a bit like having a Y cable on the aux in, and sometimes you can get a bit of audio noise from that. The other pieces that come with it is a USB connect. Obviously they say put that where you're going to connect your phone, and most people that will probably be in this cubby hole. Interestingly, and I've already partially unpicked this bit, is so that's the unit which connects from your glove box into the head unit. I was interested in the space that I had behind, because as you can see there is a plastic bit at the top here. Neatest option, and it's probably something that I'll investigate. So the microphone. and that's where normally your voice would get fed to. This is probably slightly more complicated. It might be better to run it up into the overhead, but I can see that being quite a pain in terms of having to go routed along the floor console and then up behind the glove box and up the pillar and across to the head unit. And even there isn't, unless you're going to have it poking out, there aren't too many places to put it. So once again, a bit of investment work. Or some people may even just decide to leave it around the glove box area. That's another possible option, and I might go for that one as a get out of jail free card at this point until I work out a better place to put it. Anything else? I don't think so. I think that's about it. As I say, basically you've got the LCD in and out. So effectively, one of those you need to plug into the LCD cable that's in there and into the unit, and the other one comes out of the unit and plugs into the space that you've vacated on the back there. So it's just really to put it in the display screens loop with the main head unit. So that's it. That's basically what I'm going to go for. The next video, as I say, I'll come back to and basically show you how to take some of these panels out at the back. I'll probably just focus on the driver's side. Jaguar actually say you need to take the seats out. I've done it many times before. You don't need to take the seats out. You just need to move them forward and out the way. Makes it a bit more of a tricky getting behind the back, but it's less tricky than having to take all the seats out. So next time we'll just look at taking this out, and then that will get us ready for putting the unit in.